Well, this is going to be a fun day. I have not been to my farms in almost, this might be a record, Brandon, almost 2.5 weeks because I've been on vacation. So this is going to be pretty fun. We just got here, we just pulled up, and what we're going to basically do is we're going to go give you an update on the video we did about 2 to 3 weeks ago on how to plant the best food plot. So it's going to be really exciting. We haven't seen what these plots look like. We're going to be walking up to them fresh. So there is no fake video photography here unless Brandon has a way to do some really fancy stuff. But we planted that sorghum plot, which we're going to check. And then Cole, who's behind me trying to get this implement off, planted his first time ever that Hunter's Haven plot. So that's going to be pretty cool to really see how that's doing. We finally got a little bit of rain, and as I'm talking to you, all I can do is smell something like death. You smell that death? I smell death. There it is. It is, oh boy, that might even be maggot filled. Ooh, he is deader than dead. Bruce, thank you. Your little cracker. Bruce came out and set all these traps for me. We're basically just going to do an update. We're going to check how the new water hole that we put in is doing, see if that's holding water. I know we've got almost 2 inches of rain about a week ago, so it'll be neat to see if that has filled up any further. Be able to pull the trail camera card, see what type of activity's been hitting that thing, and we're going to check those food plots. And with Hunter's Haven, generally what they recommend is once it's growing and it's up about, I don't know, 4 to 5 inches, and ours might be a little bit longer just because I was on vacation, you want to put some urea in it. So let's go. And Cole, we're going to see if your planting actually worked and you didn't let us down. What? I was yelling at you quite a bit when we were doing that. So it's all good. It's all good. So let's go ahead and let's get this thing off. You know, guys, as I showed you in my videos in the past, if you have concrete and you have the ability to buy these snap lock rollers, these things are great. I mean, when you're by yourself, if you notice every piece of equipment in this farm, I use these, and it's just so handy when you're by yourself to be able to just slide underneath your equipment, set it down, roll it off to the side. And when you're by yourself, whether you want to spread your fertilizer, hook up your sprayer, being able to roll these right up to these quick release hitches that you basically put on the tractors are freaking sweet, because then you can just back up, lift, and go.
And they're made in America.
I didn't know that.
It says it right there.
Not to mention the fact those killer zip ties are made in America. If you want good American-made quality stuff, we're going to put links in the bottom of this video where to get the best zip ties that don't just break the 1 second you use them. And if you want killer, made in the USA dollies, these are the ones to get. So, you ready to go see what your food plot looks like?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Let's get this thing off. Let's go ahead and hook up the sprayer. I know the beans are going to need help for sure. So let's go ahead and rock and roll. Do this. Today, we're going to give you a little tip, which is freaking cool. In my big tractor, I've got a GPS system for when I spray or when I'm planting, which my screen will show me exactly where I've planted and where I haven't planted, or where I've sprayed and where I haven't sprayed. When you start using smaller equipment, like let's say you're using a Moose sprayer attached to the four-wheeler here, or in this case with this tractor here, we've got this foam marking system, which sometimes can be hard to see the foam drops. Sometimes you just don't know where you've sprayed. But my buddy Paul found an app, and it's freaking slick. We'll put it up on the screen here. Tractor GPS thing is slick. I think it costs like 80 bucks for the year. And what you do is you measure whatever your spraying width is. And then as you go and spray, it lays down basically a color marker where you've been This way you know exactly where you sprayed and where you haven't sprayed. Cole has got a leak. Did you put the rubber seal on the bottom when you put it on?
Yeah, but I think this is the one that is cracked. It looks like you fixed it.
Did you over tighten it?
No, I didn't.
Well, he broke the last one. So here's another good tip. Put your water in before you put your chemicals in, because if you have a problem like this, well, it looks like it's perfect.
That don't look perfect to me.
That's because you over tightened it.
I didn't over tighten it.
There's
a brand new one over here.
You over tightened it.
No, I did.
Cole does have some serious strength. I know for a fact, even without going up there and looking at those beans, that they're gonna need to be sprayed. So we went ahead and put the sprayer on. We went ahead and filled the tank for the water hole. It can't hurt to just give it some fresh water. So we're gonna go ahead and fill it. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and measure this right now. So then that way we know exactly how much we're spraying. So 20 feet is what we'll be spraying. 7, 7, 14 plus 6 is 20 feet. So I'll go in there and I'll set it for 20 feet. It zooms right in, and then what you're gonna do is you click on equipment, and then you change your feet. So I'm gonna go ahead and kick this baby right up to 20 feet. And now I'm at 20 feet. You can offset it right or left if for some reason maybe you're using a boom sprayer and maybe you're just shooting just out on one side. And you know, that way you can do an offset. But in this particular case here, I got it set at 20 feet. And then we can work log, we're not gonna worry about. And then once I start, it will tell me exactly how many acres, and it will start laying down the path. And we'll show you that once we get dialed in. All right, well, I kind of suspected that these beans weren't gonna be doing that great. And here's an example too, where you can just see tons of volunteer corn. I knew there was quite a bit of corn left in this field when I planted it, and I didn't bring any chemical to knock the corn back, which honestly, I really don't care, because it's a deer plot, and as long as you got corn and beans mixed in here, it really doesn't matter. Walking around in here though, you can see that there's Meare's tail right here. You know, there's definitely some thistle coming up here. There's a lot of weeds in this field. There are beans. I mean, you can just kind of go like that and you get a bean here. Most of these beans in this corner over here, you can tell are, it's just, I mean, so many deer come right up into this corner right here. They're pretty much munched down. I think the further we get into this field, the more we'll find beans. There's a lot more here, 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 there. So this definitely needs to be sprayed, but let's go ahead and get started. Let's put the chemicals in. Cole, if you want to go ahead and plan for, last time we measured this, it was 1.5 acres. So let's go ahead and load up the sprayer. This water hole here is perfect. I'm so glad that I made it bigger and came in here and rebuilt it this year, because it's already starting to get a ton of activity, a lot of does, a lot of fawns, a lot of activity. This little bit of grass that I planted in here and a little bit of oats has all kind of came up, so that's looking good. I'll probably throw a little bit of clover just along here as well in this little shaded area, but this one here is looking really, really, really good. I want to make sure that I do a good job taking care of this water hole. If you start getting to a point where you start seeing a little bit of liner, like I can start seeing a little bit right here, I purchased bentonite to be able to put on top of those areas to make sure that it always stays covered. But I don't know what else to say about this water hole other than the fact that this was one of my goals this year, to kill a buck off of this one here. This is just such a great spot. The corn is growing in perfectly. I've been leaving all this alone, basically scent free from humans. I mean, I don't even come through that way anymore at all. So my access is gonna be significantly better. Liking the way this looks. I'm gonna pull that trail camera right now. I know I've got 2 cameras on this one here. I'm running a DS4K right here, and I'm running a new Spectre right here. And This camera here has been kind of giving me the live, up-to-date footage, but I'm really looking forward to pulling this card because I'm gonna have a lot of cool videos from this, for sure. For those of you who don't know what bentonite is, I just went over there and kind of picked some up. You can just see it's just clay. I mean, it's just, and it just packs right in those areas. I got a spot of the liner that's kind of showing right here. Just kind of put that right on there like that. That's all you need to do. That stuff will just, it is just slimy and sticky, and will just basically, they use it in ponds a lot where you, or big, you know, if you're building like a big pond for fishing and stuff, where you have a situation where you've got some leaks in the bottom and so forth. This stuff here will just basically stop it from leaking. All right, guys, I'm not gonna go too deep into this today, but I do wanna share this with you because we just started posting about it. And there's been a lot of controversy about making water holes like this if you are adding to the problem with EHD and killing deer, right? Because what can happen with these water holes sometimes is the water does get stagnant. In my case, I try to come up here regularly, put some fresh water in it, and it does help them have them in shaded areas like this. But a lot of times these water holes can get really hot, really stagnant, get super nasty, and ultimately people say that it can contribute to problems with EHD and the midge fly and killing more deer. But I'm holding in my hands a new product. I'm not gonna go real in depth in the details because I wanna get these guys who designed this product on the horn and really go over in depth why you should be using this to be able to keep your water holes healthier and cleaner. It's basically 3 steps, 1, 2, 3. They've got 3 different products in this little box, okay? Bacteria, they've got some muck, basically demuck they're calling it, to get rid of some of the muck from the bottom. And they also have a liquid, basically enzyme that you put in here to help clean these water holes up. So we're gonna go into the details later with that. I'm gonna go ahead and treat this little water hole for about 1,000 gallons. That's what Cole and I kind of did the math on this one based on its size, but it's looking super good. So let's go ahead and treat this guy and basically slip out of here. All right, well, we're standing in the field that Cole planted, and generally it doesn't look too bad. There's a little bit more grass in here than I would like, but unfortunately when we planted this field, it literally was weeks until we got any rain. So unfortunately, the grass just got a jump start on a lot of our seed. But the good news is, I mean, you can definitely see buckwheat right here. I mean, there's definitely beans pushing through here, buckwheat, beans. You can clearly see the sorghum. So you got 3 good varieties right there alone, you know, popping up. And now that we've gotten some moisture, I'm just looking around, I can just see all the better stuff popping up. There's a nice sunflower coming up right here. So there's definitely a lot in here. Unfortunately, it's just got a lot of competition with grass, but there's really nothing you can do. I mean, other than starting over. You know what? We thought we had a good rain coming in when we planted, but literally it missed us, and it was like weeks until it rained. So the germination was behind, but that grass that's in this seed bed just took off. I think we're gonna be okay though, because it's getting to the point now where the sorghum's getting a little bit higher than the grass. The buckwheat is. Here's an example of a really good sunflower popping up right here. It looks really good. So I think we're gonna be fine. There's gonna be a lot of food in here, and this is almost an acre and a half or more of Hunter's Haven. So there's gonna be more than enough food in here. What we're gonna do right now is just give it a shot of nitrogen, you know, which unfortunately is also gonna fuel the grass too, but I do wanna get some nitrogen on this stuff for the stuff that is growing and give it an additional little kick. We've got some rain in the forecast actually on Thursday or Friday. So I'm hoping that will just give this a little bit of extra jolt to get these sunflowers and sorghum what it needs to make sure that it has a nice seed head. So what you're gonna do when you see the sorghum plot, because that seed is treated in concept, so I was able to add a pre-emergent, that holds that grass back, allowing your seed to get above it. So we'll show you that right when we're done spreading the nitrogen here. We just got done looking at that Hunter's Haven field, and you could see there was all that grass competition. Here, we put down a pre-emergent, and here you can go in and see, okay, yeah, you've got some dandelions, but for the most part, there's not a lot of competition. But if you can recall, when we were spraying this field, we ran out. So check this out. If you follow me right here, you can see the rows are perfect, not a lot of competition. Sorghum's coming for whatever reason, it's got a little weak right here. And then look what happens right here. Cole, take a look at this. We didn't spray the pre-emergent here, and bam, here comes the grass. And check that out. The moment you get grass in with sorghum, all of a sudden, the competition kicks in for nutrition and for water, and all of a sudden, you don't see almost any sorghum in here. Once you start getting back into where the pre-emergent was, now you start seeing all kinds of good sorghum. This is that spot where we ran out right here. And you can just see a perfect example between sorghum with pre-emergent down first and then where the pre-emergent was missed. For the most part, the sorghum looks good. The Hunter's Haven's looking pretty good. I think for the most part, that got ahead of the grass and it's gonna be okay. Waterhole looks fantastic. Really, it's just time to stay out of this farm now and let everything keep growing. Cross our fingers and our legs for some more rain. And there's really nothing else to do here but get out of here. So let's roll to the next farm. Can't wait to see what we got over there. Okay guys, we made it to the second farm now, and this was really important for me to see how these beans came out. If you remember watching a video we did about 2 or 3 weeks ago, it was pathetic. I mean, I planted those beans, I thought everything was just right, and once they germinated, they looked bad. So we called our friend John Musser over at the FS agency, you know, my farm service agency, and he came out and was like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. Let's go ahead and replant these. So he brought me some additional beans, and he's like, listen, just go ahead and drill over whatever you've got and let's just start over. And I'm sure glad I did. I can just see in the distance that they look really good, but let's go ahead and take a look at this plot. You get down at this level here and you just look across there. It looks really, really, really good. So feeling a lot better about these. Of course, these are still pretty small. They're just really getting started now. We finally started getting some moisture here, so I'm happy about that. But these look really, really, really good. So a little bit of browse pressure I can see right there, but that's expected. That's why we do this. Obviously, we want to attract the deer and give them food, but what I had before was going to basically be a big waste. This looks good, and I am glad that I replanted. Right next to me here is my corn, so let's just go ahead and slide over here. Corn looks good. What do they say, knee high by the 4th of July? Well, 4th of July is this Friday, and this is way past my knees, and clearly I did a good job spraying because there is very little coming up in here at all. I mean, this is super clean. So this corn looks really, really, really good. So definitely happy with the way this corn looks. Both of these beans and corn look fantastic. Really, the only other thing that I want to check out on this farm is what I can see over there is that beautiful prairie. Wow, that is stunning. All right, but man, look at all those black-eyed Susans. Holy cow. That's a great looking planting. This is its first year. A lot of dandelions came in here this year. This flower here is usually because the soil was disturbed. It's not a part of the mix. But just starting to walk around in this prairie here, I mean, I just can't believe how many black-eyed Susans are in this mix. And you're starting to see some clump grass starting right here. So this is probably some blue stem coming up right here. So that's just starting to put on growth now, which is what you'd expect. We're just in the beginning of July right now. So that's when those grasses are really gonna start pushing through. And you can really just see like right here, the grass is starting to kind of push through and get a little bit taller than the actual flowers. But man, this is a cool spot to stand right here. Here's more flowers coming up. That is, I just swallowed the bug.
That's staying in here.
Oh, I can feel them crawling. Oh, I'm just swallowing them down. You give this one more year, and then we put some fire on this and burn it. This is going to be a great prairie. From what I can see right here, Brandon, all the hard efforts that we've been putting in are coming together. And I got to tell you, I don't know about you, but it's hot. I'm sweating. Let's get out of here. And guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. It helps us out and make sure that all of our good videos keep showing up in your feed. If you want to become a better deer hunter, Bowhunt or Die is the place to learn how to do so. Until next time, guys, get out in the woods, make your habitat better, and you will attract more animals.